All right, teachers, welcome. We are diving into what is, without a doubt, the most critical phase of AP Seminar, Unit 5. This is the workshop phase, where we take those good drafts and really make them shine.
So let's just start with the stakes, right? 35%. That's how much performance task 2, the big individual research essay and presentation, is worth. It is a massive piece of the pie, and it is all on the table right now. And hey, let's not forget the other 20% for performance task 1, the team project. You add those up, and you realize a huge chunk of your students' final AP score gets polished and finalized right here in this unit. Yeah, the pressure's on, but you know what? So is the opportunity. And just look at this timeline. If you're following a guide like this one from HISD, you see just how tight this window is. From the end of February to the end of April, it is an all-out sprint to that finish line. This is where we transform those messy, sprawling drafts into focused, compelling, high-scoring arguments. So that brings us to the big question, the real challenge. How do we guide our students through what I like to call the messy middle? How do we help them produce their absolute best work without crossing that very clear line about giving direct individual feedback?
Well, it all starts with a shift, a really fundamental shift in your role. You've got to take off the teacher hat, the one that delivers content, and put on the coach hat. You are now a writing coach, and your entire job is to facilitate their improvement, not to do the improving for them. And lucky for us, the College Board is crystal clear about our boundaries. What's in our playbook? We can absolutely hold meetings. We can and should constantly point students back to the rubrics. What's off limits? We cannot write on their papers, revise sentences, or proofread their work. Our real power here is in guiding the process, not directing the outcome. Now, this brings us to our absolute biggest coaching tool. I like to call it the green light. If you're seeing the same issue pop up in draft after draft, maybe it's weak transitions or inconsistent citations, that is your green light to stop everything and do a quick whole class mini lesson on that exact skill. It's permitted, and honestly, it's incredibly powerful.
So what does this coaching thing actually look like in the classroom day to day? Well, the best way to do it is with a structured, student-centered essay workshop. Picture this. You set up different stations around the room. You could have a rubric check station where a student literally scores their own paper against one specific row of the rubric. A citation clinic just for checking formatting. A peer revision station where they use a protocol like ratiocination. That's a fancy word for a system where they color code things in a peer's paper to find patterns. And here's a pro tip. Don't forget your alumni. Bringing back former students to help out is a total game changer. Okay, we have to talk about the newest tool in the workshop, the one that's on everyone's mind, artificial intelligence. We can't just pretend it's not there. We have to get ahead of it and manage it. Your students, especially the ones who find writing to be a struggle, they're going to be tempted. They're absolutely going to ask you about it. So we need to have a clear, consistent answer ready to go. And that answer has to come straight from the AP capstone policy. And here's the breakdown. The College Board policy is super specific. Can a student use AI to explore a topic or check their grammar? Yes. Can it write the research question, summarize a source for them, or draft any part of their paper? Absolutely not. This table right here, you might just want to post this up in your classroom for everyone to see. So that begs the question, right? How do we actually enforce this stuff and make sure the work is authentic? The answer is already built into the course for us, the required checkpoints. And I want you to stop thinking of these as just another box to check. No, these are your #1 tool for making sure the work is genuine. These checkpoints are really just short, focused conversations. In the first one, you're talking about their sources. In the second, they're defending their outline. These moments make their thinking process visible. They have to actually explain what they're doing, and that's something AI just can't fake. This is your way of confirming that they are truly engaged in the work. And finally, this might be the most important thing. During this really high-pressure time, we have to set a realistic, achievable goal for our students. We need to tell them exactly what the finish line looks like. This right here. This is the phrase you should repeat over and over again. Perfection is not the goal. The goal is a clear, consistent academic voice. It's an argument that a reader can follow and understand, even if there are a few little grammatical hiccups along the way. That's it. So, this is what you boil it down to for your students. Tell them,
Focus your energy here. Make your argument clear and logical. Make your citations consistent. Let me hear your academic voice. That's what scorers are actually looking for, not some impossible, flawless paper. So, the final question really is for you. How are you going to turn your classroom into a winning workshop? It's by making that shift from teacher to coach, by running a structured workshop, by being clear about AI, and by focusing your students on clarity over perfection. If you do that, you're going to empower every single one of them to cross that finish line with a paper they can be truly proud of.